Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, and of course, with me is her of positive fandom, and I'm so excited about this watch party because I've been trying to do this. I tried to do it last year, and Amazon yanked it, but no big deal. It's up on Tubi for free. And of course, that movie is Robocop, the 1987 version of Robocop starring Peter Weller and Nancy Allen.
Yes, Lorena, RoboCop is such a special film, truly pure genre entertainment. Peter Weller does a stellar job as the main character. And at this time, it really did feel like you could have a police officer that could be a robot. I mean, it was one of those eras where it felt like this could be something that could happen in the future. And who knows what the future would bring. And I think that was part of the fascination of it all, but also the fact that it was just done so perfectly, from the soundtrack to the execution of this character that was not easy to play but had to become essentially a robot. So it really is this incredible science fiction fantasy futuristic style film of how will crime be dealt with in the future. And so much of it is appealing. Peter Weller has a lot to do with this, but the soundtrack also propels you into this world, and it's just really fun ride to watch what happens in this film. It's just pure gold, honestly, Lorena. Very hard to recreate a movie like this that I feel is almost perfect.
I would have to wholeheartedly agree with you. This is, again, another one of those 1980s slick action movies. The only thing it promises is a good time. And that's what you come to see, a good time, some effects to blow your mind, snappy, witty banter, just, the bang for your buck, which is funny considering this movie codified the line, I'd buy that for $1.
It sure does. And of course, the movie promises what it delivers. RoboCop, exactly what you're going to see in this film. There's no sidestepping or anything out of the ordinary. That's exactly what this film is all about.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. God bless you, Paul Verhoeven. Telling you, what's once you see his style of directing, it's very distinctive, and you'll see it in, I believe, it's RoboCop 2, but you definitely see it in Starship Troopers, which is another favorite Paul Verhoeven movie. And I did he direct Total Recall? I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I know definitely Starship Troopers. So, folks, if you have a physical copy or you have your own digital copy, of course, we are going to have this little timer up here that we will start. That will give you the timestamp throughout the entire film. If you want to watch this on Tubi TV for free. Actually, there's two places you can watch for free. Pluto TV, and you could also watch it on Tubi TV as well. And both of those apps are available on the Fire TV. So if you want to watch Fire TV, you can go ahead and do that. So I'll give you guys a little bit to get it queued up. Go through here in the chat. See you guys coming in here right now. Let's see. We have Goofar 35. This is such a good movie. One of the first action movies I watched as a kid. I do admit that I do like all three RoboCop movies.
Good for
That's
you.
okay. That's
Hmm.
okay that you like all three.
Good for you. Enjoy
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. There's just something about it when you see the first one. It's just like, okay, this one, it might suck, but I just want to see RoboCop.
Hmm.
And the hidden hello says, what was lacking Joel Kinnaman's version of RoboCop that worked for Peter Weller's portrayal? I have not seen that version. Have you?
No, and I really like Joel Kinnaman. So I don't know. Maybe we'll have to watch it and answer that question when we watch the new one. But I think part of the mysticism of what can happen in the future is missing. So
Mhm.
in the 80s, it felt like this could be, in the not too distant future, a reality. And I'm not quite sure whether we have that feeling today about robotics and electronics going forward. So that's something to think about. Maybe that's something that might also be lacking.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Hey,
Jerry
David.
Minosa, I see you there. I see you there. And I see Theme Park Casual
Ooh,
in the chat. And I love what you just said here. Absolutely stinging social commentary, especially when business gets into bed with government.
yes.
I
Yes.
can't tell you how many people will use this movie, and all I'm going to say is, what's it? Was it Ed 209 or Ed 309? That's all I'm gonna say. Put a pin in that. DK Greek 94 over there on Twitch, because yes, we are simulcasting over there on Twitch. Says, Hail Lorena, glad you guys are watching this movie because it's coming soon. This movie and the Terminator was a warning and not to be taken as scientists as suggestions and challenges. Yeah, it was interesting, these types of movies that gave you a warning about technology,
Yes, in the
and
not too distant future.
yes, not too distant future.
Ah, I love it so much.
Yes. Hello, Chef Nation says, good evening,
Ooh.
beautiful people. Well, good evening
Ooh.
to you, and good evening to little Chef. I know he's there around. So cute. Brian
Hey,
McCann,
buddy.
cyborg like Vader or Seven of Nine. Yes. Yes, definitely the
Yes.
case with RoboCop, and his origin story when you see it in the film is very, I want to say it's kind of akin to Vader, but not really. There are definitely some similarities when it comes to what happened to turn Peter Weller's character into RoboCop.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, my kid gets a kick about it. Yeah, this I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. Kids love the well, okay, it's too violent for little kids, okay, but
Yes,
for
it is.
teenagers, yeah, yeah, they will get a kick out of it, I'm telling you.
Mhm.
John Ware Jr. says, "Greeting, ladies. I
Mm.
love this classic." Well, good to see you, John Ware Jr. So glad that you are here. Says RoboCop 1987 looked lived in and tangible. The 2014 version didn't have that dystopian motif as the original.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe it's that they were too scared to go that way, you know, which
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead, my dear. I mean to
No,
interrupt you.
no, you're right. Maybe they were too scared. I dystopia felt like it was a possibility in the future. It was very strange how things felt, what the future was going to bring, and yet we don't have that type of feeling. At least I don't in the future, right now.
Mhm.
So I think if they could convince us of that, um, it would have to be something very different. I think that the expectations have changed about what's going to
Mhm.
happen in the near to distant future.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, it is Brian McCann, and you guys are gonna find out if you haven't. And remember, for those of you who know, and thank you, John Ware Jr. Paul Verhoeven did direct Total Recall 1992. Paul Verhoeven has a distinctive style, like Ridley Scott
Yes, I
has a
love him.
distinctive style. It's just when you see it, like seeing a John Wick movie,
Oh, yes,
you
and
just know.
just like, this film, Total Recall is also another one that is it does have a certain level of violence to it, um,
Mhm,
that is really kind of, very specific. Um, I think it matches his style for someone who's done some really incredible things. He didn't just stop at that. He kind of, of course, he's done Basic Instinct, but he also did Benedetta and a bunch of other films that are very, very unusual. His repertoire of films are just spectacular, Lorena.
Mhm.
And this is one of the classics. People try to capture what he captured in this one. I still believe in this film. I still believe that this could happen um, more than a lot of other films I've seen. So I think it's very
Mhm.
interesting that it still captures that feeling, for me at least, even
Mhm.
watching it today.
Absolutely. And I think, seeing this movie now with things that have been going on, I think people will gravitate to this version more so. Hey, Jay Charles says, "Hey, Reina and chat. This movie is a classic 100%. Yes, great pick. Well, thank you. Thank you. And glad you're here. Glad you're here. Megwin Pixie, hello, says hi. And I love that
Hi.
avatar because I love Tinkerbell. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And the Buzz CJC says one of my all-time favorites. Well,
Absolutely.
likewise. So without further ado, folks, if you have your digital copy or your physical copy, get it ready because I am about to hit the play button. So, are you ready
I
to
am
watch? You're
ready.
ready. Everybody's ready, 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 ready. And y'all are going to kill me when I do this. Here we go.
All right.
Yay, I did that transition right.
Mm-hmm.
Right, folks. It's so weird how some of these studios and production companies we don't see anymore,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yes. Yes, it is true.
Like like Screen Gems.
Or United Artists or Orion or
Mhm. Exactly.
he has a lot of
Exactly.
these news segments in his films, and I really love that he does that. What it used to be like for network television.
Exactly. It gives like this I want to say like this nostalgic factor.
Yes. So the theme of nuclear war was huge in the 80's.
Yes, it was. Star Wars, remember that?
Hmm.
Putting lasers on satellites.
They believed it would work.
Mhm. They sure did. Missed that Orion opening. Hey, Benjamin Ben. It sure is.
And of course, around this time, they did have one of the first artificial heart transplants, if I remember correctly.
Mhm. We care. OCP, y'all. I'm forgetting who this actor is.
Well, he was in Beverly Hills Cop,
Okay, okay.
and he played a police officer, the I think the chief of police, if I remember.
Mhm.
Um,
Ronnie Cox. Thank you, John Ware Jr. Yeah, yeah. The Hidden says, "Does anyone think RoboCop versus Terminator in a live action movie is coming soon?"
I don't
I k
know.
I don't know. I kinda don't want him to touch that right now. And John Ware Jr. says, "It's like in the Dark Knight Returns comic using the news media for exposition and world building."
Yes, and I love it. And it's true. That's we grew up with that. You used to turn on the television and that news would come on, and it
Yes.
really had a huge effect over what was going to happen
Mhm.
day by day. So it's weird not having it anymore.
Absolutely.
And Peter Weller also made another film called Buckaroo Banzai, I think around this time.
I did see Buckaroo Banzai. I did. That was a funny film.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Lorena, but the contract for the police is very different in this film. It's like a different. Am I incorrect in saying that?
I believe it is. It's some kind of I think they're on contract, or was it a union? Did they It's been a while since I've seen this.
I just saw some bare asses, so I'm happy. I don't
Yeah.
even care. I'm just like,
Back
yeah.
when they would do this in 80's movies.
And it's a locker room. You're gonna see that.
And it's a co-ed locker room too.
Hmm. And he had those co-ed locker rooms in Starship Troopers as well.
That's right.
I would be like, "Hey, how are you?"
How they did that, where they just like slid dude's nameplate off. Oh, I guess Cecil's the donation guy. You always got one. That's what it was. It was a strike. And I believe it's they wanted to use like these robotic cops to take over the police. So,
You
dang
never have
it.
to worry about a strike.
Yeah, I'm blanking on the company's name so that they would have the contract.
Yeah.
Those are the prostitutes.
That's right. Ladies of the night.
Mhm. But you had to check to see if they were vice cops. So
Of course. Just
yeah.
like in Miami Vice or something. It's like
Mhm. Like, I'm tired of working vice. When am I gonna work homicide? We need you. Nobody can bust Johns like you.
That's right. Oh god.
Freaking loved Lewis. Talk about a badass female character.
Mhm. I think the 80s might be the first time where female cops were kind of the norm now. Um, like,
Yeah.
we're past the Cagney and Lacey point, so,
Mhm.
and past, uh, policewoman, so this was expected. There were female police officers and detectives now.
Absolutely.
Corporate corporate America circa 1980.
Yes, those double to triple breasted suits and all
That's
that.
right. Ah.
John Ware Jr. says, fun fact, Peter Weller voiced Batman in the Dark Knight Returns animated films.
Ah, I didn't
Very
know that.
cool. Very cool. And Darth Revan says Officer Lewis was great. Yes.
Mhm. You had to dress like this if you worked in corporate America.
Mhm.
It was unacceptable to show up out of a suit. Even the women almost dressed in suits
Yes.
practically.
You couldn't show up with pop collars or,
There was no dress down
khaki
Fridays.
pants. Yes, no dress down Friday. Oh my gosh, a transcription.
That's right. She's there, the stenographer chick.
Mhm.
She made good money. They made good money.
Crazy amounts of money.
There was a reason why they didn't want to record, right, Lorena? It
I
was
think,
the transcript is what they wanted for some
yeah.
reason.
Everybody clap, Dad. Go on it, clap. Clap for the old man. I think it's into they didn't want like a recording to like fuck them with, so they just had a stenographer do it. I agree. Really? Now that dude wanted the old man's job,
Yes.
and I think the other dude was the coke snorting party guy who had a great idea that the old man liked.
There's a certain percentage of these executives who are on some substance,
Mhm.
and they absolutely those military contracts are a big deal even now, so
Yeah, absolutely. They're like set for life. So their contract with local law enforcement. The nice gamer says, "Please clap."
mhm. See, even the woman is dressed in a suit, like
It's tight blouse and
mhm.
everything.
Your hair pulled back, you had to have serious hair,
Mhm.
remember?
Yeah. I call it the Marcy Darcy look.
Mhm. Exactly what it was.
Future of law enforcement. Okay, everybody, pay attention.
This thing is terrifying looking even now.
Mhm. Ed 209. And if you've seen any other science fiction movies or even cartoons, whenever they haul out a robot that looks like this, it's not good.
Yeah. They should have had some protective glass.
Even the cheesy special effects make this crazy.
Well, the sound also adds to it, but it's
Yes.
enormous. It's huge.
Yes.
It looks more like a walking tank to me, but
Mm-hmm.
and maybe that's part of why this one was not successful, this first model.
Exactly. Folks, we are at 10 minutes, 43 seconds watching Robocop. Notice he said if it's a successful tour. Mr. Oh, that's a hand cannon.
Yeah, that is huge.
Whoo, what is that? And you see him laughing, right? Seconds to comply. Okay, I'll put it down. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, and here's where you knew it was going to get really F up.
You know, some of the smarter executives already ran out of the freaking room.
Yeah. And that's the Paul Verhoeven style, man. That's
Absolutely.
just unflinching. Oh, was a Desert Eagle? A beautiful firearm, I tell you that.
Mhm.
Why do they have a loaded gun in the conference room? Because it's the 80s. Notice how he's dead on top of the
The
new
model.
Detroit model. Hey, Double A says hello there. Very disappointed.
Just a glitch.
It's a glitch. We'll fix it.
Wow.
See, when the smart people have something, but Dick doesn't want him to use it.
Mhm.
Yes.
90 days, that's quick.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I know you hate me.
Now in the real world, I can't remember, I think he gets beat up a little bit somehow, but you know that other guy's not gonna stand for that shit.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Life in the big city.
Yeah.
Look at how
But
cool that looks.
oh my gosh. Go ahead, Lewis. Was that Lewis? Oh, no, it was Weller. Okay. A gunslinger.
Mhm. Now, I don't know if it was true at that time whether police officers did wear bulletproof vests, like, but I know they do wear them now, like, that's part of their uniform underneath their clothes.
Mhm. I think, and I may be wrong, but it's like it wasn't it seemed the only people who would wear this type of body armor was SWAT.
Right.
"Oh, look, there's a mullet car." That's the one that, like, I don't know, it's like a sedan, but it had, like, a flatbed in the back?
Yes.
Okay, guys, we're hitting a commercial break, at least I am right now. That was fast. And that guy who's throwing the money, isn't that the dad from that '70s show?
Yes.
Okay, I forget his name, but I'm looking and I'm like, "He's from that '70s show." Pump shotgun. And I've seen that guy somewhere too.
Mhm. Ouch.
Man, you just heard that slide.
Mhm.
Again, I love this. Boyfriend got 2 semi-automatics.
Mhm.
Where'd they go? And you're right, this music.
It's so good.
Murphy shooting with both hands. How often do you see that in an action movie these days? Well, okay, exclusive of John Wick. Dude shooting with 2 guns. Is this when they threw the guy out?
Yes.
Uh, oh, this was gangster. We're like, "Ugh." But it shows you how ruthless these criminals are.
Definitely.
So, folks, 17 minutes and 5 seconds. We got the car chase going on to a scene that is going to set up the conflict very well.
Absolutely.
Murph shoot, Murphy said, "Lewis said, I'm down. I'm down." John Ware Jr. said, "Childhood trauma." Yeah. Yeah, it was, Paul Verhoeven does not shy away from violence in his films,
No.
and there was an article I think I read with him where he got a lot of flack for how much violence was in this movie, and he said, "Well, I had to show that in order for you to sympathize with what happens with Murphy."
Yeah.
Because for those of you who've seen that movie, you know exactly what scene I'm talking about. "You taking a pee. Freeze, dirtbag." Yep, Jerry Minoza, and absolutely no backup.
Ugh.
That was the trick. Now she out. Even even if you're just seeing this for the first time, the suspense and how they set this up. Most of the cops are on strike. One cop just died, that day. Here we go. It was a cake shaped like boobs, right?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
fantastic.
Yeah, do it. Mhm. Lewis got the wind knocked out of her.
Oh, no.
Oh, those of you with, queasy constitutions may wanna look away for the next minute. Just saying.
People were talking about how traumatic the scene really is.
Yes. It's the dad from the '70s show. I'm still gonna keep calling him that. So you were 21 in 1987, Jerry Minoza? And John Ware Jr. says, "Where's my blankie?" Yeah, I Oh, pistol whipping him. I guess that's why they call shotguns boomsticks. Wasn't that from Evil Dead too? I'm Ash and this is my boomstick.
Mhm. This is just cruel and inhumane.
And torturous.
He didn't have to
It's
do that to him.
no, it's oh god, I did not expect for that to happen. Every time I see this movie, this is the rest of it I can sit and watch, but this scene
I heard a lot of people talk about this scene, about how traumatic it really is, and we don't really see things like this in movies anymore, at least not to this level.
I think the only scene that was this traumatic to watch had to be Sean Connery in The Untouchables.
Mhm. It's awful.
Oh,
and her discovery of him,
oh my God.
your partner. It's a bloodbath.
And she blamed herself or just like, oh my God. It is, oh. And she's probably seen a lot of cops fall in the line of duty, but it was dude's first day.
This is horrific.
Absolutely horrific. Yeah, D Nice Gamer, that was a messed up movie death. I'm like, what are y'all gonna save? Yeah, the practical effects are amazing, and yeah, perfect movie deaths again. Sean Connery and The Untouchable. This is one too. When you see what happened to Murphy in RoboCop, put it where? Jerry Mendoza said to be paid no expense to play this movie uncut. Yeah, this is the only way to see it.
Now he's, of course, seeing his life flash in front of his eyes.
Hmm. I love you. Like that's the first. Never gonna see them again.
Hmm.
And the fact that they show how hard the doctors were trying to save him, although it's just like, what's to save? But in a way, we're still kind of like, can he pull through this? But there's a reason. And again, anytime Paul Verhoeven has what seems like to be gratuitous violence, there's a reason for it.
This this was also very cleverly done.
Very much so.
Sounds all futuristic and like
Yeah.
it happens everywhere now.
We're like, what's happening here? That is so cool. So you get to see the creation. I saw bios flash up there. What, really?
Yeah, I guess they can.
Yeah. Mhm. Lose the arm. All right, arm goes.
That also doesn't seem so far fetched now. Like Kevlar interwoven into everything
Mhm.
doesn't seem so far fetched.
I'm cracking up that it did a RAM check. Yeah, that's the arm. Yeah. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I like that. Old man's gonna be impressed. I remember that. Crazy things happen in the lab.
That is true. That is very true.
Mhm. How much for the arm? Hello, Chris Adams. I see you in the chat. Says, love the Robocop franchise. Absolutely. As an engineer, I was so into robots, still am,
Mhm.
like Transformers. Robocop is one that we used to study like
Yeah.
crazy. And when I actually started working as an engineer, I had to work with robots. So,
Wow. Good
yeah.
memories.
Yeah. It's it's amazing how many engineers will talk about either mecha anime like Mobile Suit Gundam or
Yes.
Ultraman, or they'll talk about Transformers. We'll definitely talk about Terminator and RoboCop.
It just looks so real. This is what sold it. It looks real. This looks like a living robotic police officer. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that this
Mhm.
thing didn't exist.
Exactly.
It felt
Exactly.
very modern technology,
Mhm.
very ominous. Just
Just hear the footsteps.
even the cops are like, "What the hell is this thing?"
I know, what is it? RoboCop, what is he? RoboCop, who is he?
And of course, and Lorena, it is Peter Weller who's in this suit, right?
Yes, I believe it is.
Yeah. It's remarkable what he did.
Yeah. Bonzo Kilborn, can I build you a sexy robot?
Yeah.
How much you got? And Darkwing Duck says RoboCop is a cyborg like me.
Aw.
Oh, yeah. I have this thing for cyborgs. I don't know. Started with Vader. Yeah, that's what he's going to eat.
And seeing everything from his point of view also
Mhm.
kind of made you relate a little bit more of like what would it be like to have to for this character, and we see this in a lot of films and movies too
Mhm.
from the character's point of view.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we've seen this kind of like robotic checkout. We've seen it in Iron Man. We saw it
Mhm.
there too. A couple other places. Very realistic.
Maybe we
And
even saw it in Megan the other day.
yes, absolutely. And Chris Adams says yes. Peter Weller was RoboCop. Yes, he's in RoboCop 1 and 2, Peter Weller. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yes.
Directive for Classified. Now this was a trip at the firing range,
Mhm.
and people are like, "What weapon is that?"
Yeah, it's a custom made job.
I love how they bring him in there. Darkwing Duck says, "I got the batteries to prove it." No joke. Well, Darkwing Duck always nice to talk to a cyborg.
So
They're even
it sounds like
cooler
a
now.
semi-automatic
Does it?
pistol or something.
They're like, "Who is shooting that, and why don't I have one?" Everybody's like, "I want that gun. What is it?" Look at that on.
He passed qualification. See you next month.
Lethal. This is a fully automatic pistol, John Moore Jr. saying.
Thank you, John Ware. I couldn't tell whether it was fully or semi.
Mhm. That was so cool.
Mhm.
And, like, when she's like, I know that move." But Dylan C says, "Hey, Lorena. Hey, currently
Hi.
stretching my appearance here with both another stream and a vain attempt at watching the Blair Witch Project." LOL.
Ooh, that's
Nice
a
movie. I
classic
did
too.
like the first one.
Yeah.
Mhm. Darkwing Duck says, "They're lame, can't handle the real heat."
At least it's got music that's so incredible.
It is so cool. I don't it's kind of like, I wanna say superhero music, but it kinda is. Like the serials.
It is very specific to Robocop. I've never really heard it anywhere else.
Mhm. There it goes. I'd buy that for $1. Oh, or that the oh, okay, we have the comic books. Meemaw got the shotgun under the counter. I believe this is the first time we see Robocop roll in there. Oh, I already called the cops. "What's up?" "Oh, that hurt when it hit the, Jack Daniels." Oh, he ain't getting up from that.
No.
John Moore Jr. says, "Music for the film by Basil Polidorus."
Such great, it's
Amazing.
amazing. It just sounds so good and very distinctly Robocop.
Yes. Delta City, the future has a silver lining. It's the shadow.
Protect the innocent.
Yes.
This was very bold shot.
Mhm.
Very, very bold.
Wow! Oh!
Very, very
If
bold.
anybody can make that shot, it'd be him. She's like, "Dang!" Alright, I've got another ad.
Same here.
A new twist. What is this? Oh, The Masked Singer. That show used to be pretty good. Now it's kinda, eh. And we're back. They must know that you cannot put too many, commercial breaks in this particular movie. C4C, hey Kai, does my intro, says, "Love the satire in this movie. All commercialism makes this a fun film." You got that right.
Absolutely.
Yes. And Darkwing Duck says, "Blue balls on another level."
Yep.
38 minutes and 7 seconds into the film, Robocop is about to go on his third excursion. Oh my gosh, the 80's hair.
Yes, I love it.
Mhm. John Moore Jr. says, since the suit is real and heavy, you feel the weight of Robocop when he walks, all the right physics. Exactly.
Yes.
He's not going to be sprinting like a transformer, okay? Oh, a recount.
Cruise control. Do cars even have that anymore?
I don't think so.
Such a different time.
Just to cover cruise control. Thermograph. Oh, there we go. We saw that in Terminator. Oh,
I can't remember this woman's name, but she was on TV like she was a reporter, a legitimate reporter in the 80's.
really?
Yes. Ooh, comic book comment.
Lee Iacocca.
Don't you love it? Don't you love it?
Oh my god, I love the 80's. Yeah, there you go.
You stole my battleship
Yeah.
or something like that. I love this stuff that he does like that. Those
Is
commercials.
this the nukes?
Yeah.
Nuke 'em, that's right. Oh my gosh.
Entertainment for the whole
James?
family.
Yes. James Karras, hello, thank you for being here, says Lisa Gibbons. That's right. Lisa
That's
Gibbons, a
right.
former ET anchor and a legit news
Entertainment
anchor.
Tonight. Thank you so much for letting us know. I remember she was on TV for a long time.
Mhm. She sure was. Oh my goodness. John Moore Jr. says Robocop grabbing someone through the wall was also in The Dark Knight Returns.
Hmm. I remember they had the shoe polishing, the shoe buffing machine in the restroom.
Mhm.
They had like all sorts of stuff. It's like, what is all this stuff doing in this bathroom? He can hear you
Executive
because he's
lounge.
in the stall right next to you, bras.
Mhm.
This is where he gets taught a lesson.
Mhm. You might want to watch who you talking smack about.
He's so naive, he doesn't know he's about to get knocked out.
He doesn't know. Yeah. Okay. Is that the stock quote? Is that the stock
Yes,
quote
it
to
is.
Buffy?
Yes, it is. it was still floor, floor trading, on floor trading at this time.
Yeah, that's right. You weren't doing like electronic trading for the most
Mhm.
part.
You're a little punk. I'm about to teach you a little lesson, bitch. That's what
Mhm.
he's saying.
Mhm. Who do you think you are? Spare parts for 1,000 years. Yep. Yeah. And right there shows just what happens with those inflated military contracts.
Mhm. It's
Spare
$500
parts for
for a
25
screwdriver.
years. Yeah. $30 million space toilet.
I do like seeing the older guy kind of bitch slap him a little bit. I'm sorry, but I do.
Yeah,
I
no,
feel
oh
like
no, that was funny. That was funny because he
'cause
does
he's
have a big ego.
yeah, and he's so terrified of him, and I'm like, "Yeah, you thought you
You
were
sh-
hot shit, right?
Mhm.
You can't even leave the bathroom, you're so freaked out right
I
now."
know.
Hmm.
Talking smack. Oh, you think you all that, right?
And you see all the people in the lab are, like, reading newspapers.
Mm-hmm.
I remember newspapers.
Way back in the day. And hey, Anzo from Bigger for Entertainment, I see
Hi.
you. Says, hey, good seeing you. Good seeing you. And I see CJ in the chat too.
Hey,
Hey,
CJ.
man, I am freaking loving this.
Oh, it's so good.
Was that a McDonald's
Yes,
container?
it is. It's,
Old
chicken
school?
McNuggets and a
Wow.
Coca-Cola in the
Mm-hmm.
styrofoam containers, I think. Those are
Mm-hmm.
styrofoam. At least it looks styrofoam to me.
This is when he started having dreams and brain activity.
They're not
And
even
I
paying
think,
attention.
yeah, and I think they were just like, no, he can't do that. That's right. His brain is still active.
He does such a good job in the acting here. That's
Perfect.
amazing.
Mm-hmm. Y'all not paying attention to this right here? Yeah, and you see it like what he's seeing in his mind projected.
Get the F out of my way. That's that's what I imagine he would be like. It is very military style kind of stance too, and the turning
Mm-hmm.
and the
Mm-hmm.
he's not supposed to do this. Did you do this? No. So where's it coming from? I'm sorry. I get all excited.
It's the same freak out like in Total Recall,
Yes.
where he's like, you put the wrong chip in, you stupid so and so. Like, no, I didn't. It's because I haven't planted it yet.
Right.
There's something about Verhoeven and memories. It's like brainwave activity. What? Yep, that's right, Jerry Mendoza. His brain is still active. And
The
Anzo, Bigger for Entertainment, says, love this movie.
mhm.
Yes.
the
I'm
the
sorry.
his skin and the connection between, let's say, the fitting of the let's say exoskeleton or whatever it is, looks flawless.
Absolutely. They put so much thought into this character. And yep, Kai, the 80s and the over the top violence will never be another time like this.
Mhm.
I keep saying this, but the closest thing is John Wick.
Definitely. What did you say to him? That's Parker Posey, right?
No, that's Nancy Allen.
The scientist.
The scientist. It is?
I think it
Oh,
looks like Parker
wow.
Posey.
If it is, wow, I learned something today.
Oh, maybe it's not her. I can't tell. It sounded like her. I gotta look it up. It doesn't concern cops. I love it. I think that struck a nerve,
Mhm.
with everybody when they heard it's like where he's like he doesn't consider it, um, a police matter.
Mhm. Yeah.
Serious asshole.
He is quite a douche.
He is.
Yeah. Okay, got another ad.
Yes.
I love Gordon Ramsay's cooking challenge shows. And we're back again at the Shell gas some hole in the wall gas station. Dang! Wow. Here you go.
Here we
Just let me
go.
do my homework. I'm just trying to put myself through college.
And
Okay.
that those days are gone too,
Mhm.
because that was kind of the norm. It's not that there wasn't it's not that there weren't college loans and stuff. It was just
Mhm.
very different. You couldn't just get one, right?
I
It
think
wasn't as
so.
easy to get as it is now. Am I
Right.
right, Lorena?
I think you're right. Yeah, the
Oh.
nice gamer, the Mac 10.
Mhm.
The crap we gotta college students gotta go through.
Mhm.
Got a Mac 10. I know that voice.
Mhm.
You definitely know that, do you? Gasoline all over the place.
Mhm. That was an
Playback.
incredible stunt. That was
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, and he's smoking. That college student said, "They don't pay me enough for this mess."
Mhm.
You ain't going nowhere. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, I think he can enter anywhere. I'm sorry.
Mhm. Wow, those are some old computers.
Mhm.
Dang.
I guess this was like a
Wow.
Star Warsy homage, right?
Yeah,
We didn't have this. There was no facial recognition in the '80s, so
none.
this is a sign of things to come.
Mhm. Wow. Plugged into the system, there we go. Now this is something we can do today,
Yes.
but back then, total fiction. No
There
way
was a
you
whole
can put somebody's
department.
picture in.
Yeah, there was a whole department that would deal with this, and that's all they did all day long. And it took a while. That and the fingerprint peeps.
Mhm.
It was manually done.
Known accomplices. Yep. 1, 2,
And
3.
the databases were not digital, so you'd be looking through paper, right, Lorena? It'd be paper.
Yeah,
Maybe they had like
paper.
they had one thing you could look through, and it was international thing, but it was not as organized as this thing.
Mhm.
This is so beautifully done.
I
Fantastic
love
storytelling.
how they did this. I'm not sure about that one, The Hidden. I don't think I ever heard of, The Demolitionist before. That server room was so old, they had magnetic, tape, like the tape wheels. Everything in that room now probably, your iPhone probably has more computer power than
Mhm.
that. Now Robocop's going stalking right now.
Your typical '80s home.
Mhm. But it made sense that they would move after all that.
Yeah.
Love how they did that. Oh my gosh.
And it's literally left at one point in time.
Mhm.
Nothing's been cleaned up. Like, nowadays, they would have brought in a cleaning crew and removed everything from the previous family, but
Mhm.
there's still these little remnants in the house that also add to the whole thing.
Coffee cup, the dead flowers. Yeah. It's like it's so heartbreaking with these memories.
The walking is so beautifully done. Gosh.
It's perfect of you. I remember that. How about that? Oh, the club and all the drum machines going on.
Yeah.
Hmm. D Nice Gamer says you might find the movie unlocked on Amazon Prime. Interesting. Hmm.
Huh.
And yes, storytelling through items and heirlooms, environmental design. I just grabbed the gun and dancing with it. Yeah, let's talk. This is what they used to do back in the 80's. Do a lot of cocaine.
Yeah, this is one of those.
Coke parties. Yep.
Right. Yeah, she's grab your purse and take some coke with you while you're running.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't want him calling you, sweetie.
You expecting somebody? Yeah.
Well, you gave him a little love tap there.
Mm-hmm.
Let him know he's
Oh,
serious. That's more like
dang.
it. That's more like it. Told you he was going to beat his ass. Sorry, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he should have made amends with him in the bathroom and said, "Look, I fucked up. I want to work with you. I we can both do this deal. You're right. You're number 2 and I know."
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like this happened. I mean, maybe not so dramatic, but there were a lot of guys who looked like they had a future and then all of a sudden you didn't hear from them anymore.
Mm-hmm. They got disappeared.
Yes, it disappeared exactly how I would put it.
You hurt my feelings.
Guess I'm taking over his program.
Yeah.
Ah,
Mm-hmm. And a loser. Good luck trying to get to that. Dang. Bye, Bob. It's
yep.
nice knowing you. Hello, Jacob Ironside said, good
Hey.
evening, ladies, and evening chat. Well, good evening
Hey.
to you. Folks, we are watching Robocop 1978 version. You can watch it for free on Tubi TV or Pluto TV, or hey, we got a timer here so you can watch it along at home with your
Absolutely.
copy. Whoo! It was 87, not 78.
Well, yeah, that's true. We knew what you meant. It's okay.
Okay.
No, it's all good. We knew what you meant. I knew what you meant.
I said 78. Ah, well, yeah, yeah. You
It's
knew what I
okay.
meant. I got it right in the title.
Yes.
Big difference between 78 and 87. Ooh.
Oh, he
And
said
can I just
cocksucker. I haven't heard
he's
that in a while.
yeah.
What were
So
you
that
gonna
was
say, Lorena?
oh, I was gonna say, not for nothing, but do you notice how diverse this cast is?
Yes. Yeah, that's how it used to be. That's how it used to be, especially in action films.
We just called him an Italian slur. He's such a great bad guy. Did I just see is that Coke? Here we
The
go,
bullet just
targeting,
bounced off of him.
targeting. Funny how this reminds me of video games now.
Mhm.
You get to target people. You would think y'all would stop shooting by now, but
He's pretty much destroying their whole operation.
yeah.
Du-du-du. Du-du-du-du-du.
Eh, you gotta love it. Hey, Jacob Ironside. So sorry I can't stay. Y'all have a fun watch. Well, thank you, Jacob. And thank you so much for dropping in. I appreciate
Mhm.
that. No, it's not bad. You know every word of Robocop, Brian McCann. This is a very quotable movie.
It really is. Seeing him, there's like a lot of symbolic stuff, obviously destroying everything and then stepping on the vials that they use to make all this stuff. He just crushes it with his feet to crush it down,
Hmm.
smash it. It's destroyed.
I love how it says this side up. He feeling his back. Ooh. Oh,
I don't know how
and
often
we're
the word cocksucker was used in these films, but I don't hear it anymore. Do you?
no. I think it was an 80s, 90s thing. And Darkwing Duck says, shout out to Miguel Ferrer for holding us down for decades. This is true. Even though you want to like send him to his maker.
He has rights.
Yeah.
Book him.
Look at Dano. Hello, Joe Tyson. Thank
Hi.
you so much for dropping in. We are watching one of the most amazing movies from the '80s, and that would be Robocop.
Mhm.
He's not wrong. We going fun with your ass.
Mhm.
Yeah, he did. Hmm. Yeah, he rolling on in here, ain't he?
Mhm. He has that recording, so
Mhm. Like, what is that that just rolled into the building?
mhm.
Playback, Clarence Whitaker.
Now this was very interesting, Lorena,
Mhm. How so?
because
Gonna pick your
he's restricted from arresting the head of corporate. Um,
Yes.
and I think that that's very interesting that they decided to put that in here. You know, it is corruption, of course, but
Mhm. And that's Directive 4, right? That was classified.
yes.
So it can't turn on you. So you can't he can't arrest anybody
Who's on
who's
the
from
list? They got a get out of jail card free, I guess.
mhm, OCP.
Yes.
Mhm. So he snuck that in there. Mhm.
This is also a fantastic scene with the, him
Mhm.
having to deal with this other weird tank-like creature.
Oh, shoot. Stick. Uh, yep, you can't mess with OCP, Darkwing Duck, you're right. Brian McCann says, "Everybody take a shot of baby food for RoboCop." Dang. I think this was when he basically, jumped on him and, like, yanked his circuits out. I just noticed, right, the Ed 209 kinda has this Harryhausen feel to him.
Yes, I agree.
Things got rockets on it.
Now, a modern robot wouldn't even attempt this, would not attempt to do this,
Mm-mm.
because there would be something that would stop it from moving. It would say, like, obstruction or unclear pathway
Mhm.
or something.
Yes. One of the biggest challenges a robot's trying to climb stairs, and
Yeah.
he's not that sophisticated. Not built like Robocop. Come on, come on. It's like an ATST. Come on.
Yes. Yes, it is.
I love how it kicks and screeches.
Like a baby, like an
Hey,
undisciplined
Phil.
baby.
You're right. It's just like a baby. Well, it's not getting back up anytime soon. Good seeing you, Phil. Good to see you. And John Moore Jr. says anthropomorphic design wins again. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Who this? How crazy is this?
Yeah, I this is my something that I question a little bit. And I listen, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the decision to have the police do this, but I don't think
Mhm.
they would do this.
No, and I agree. It just does not, um
'Cause he's not a threat.
no.
I think the police would make their own decision and say, "We're not gonna do that." But or maybe these are security guards, um, for the building even, maybe.
You know what? Yeah, because they said we're under orders to take it down. So that would be the OC they're I guess they're the OCP rent-a-cops.
Yeah.
Dang. Ooh, wasn't this was Lewis, right? Okay, yeah.
Yes, yes. Yeah, so that's what happened here, okay. So it and here's the Ray Harryhausen, homage, of course, but,
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, Darkwing Duck says, "No, it's the police, they are on the pay."
Oh, okay, okay.
It is kind of like, "Oh, shoot, here we go with the stop motion dinosaur." I
I
love how
remember this
cheesy
thing, this
I love how cheesy this looks. 8.2 MPG. What?
yeah, this dude's brain is fried. I think we all remember someone like that in college.
Mhm, yeah. Was that one dude Pauly Shore's dad? He's just like Pauly Shore.
Absolutely.
He's just strutting in with that 80's Miami
He
Vice looking suit.
mhm, and she's got her designer 80s suit as well. That's like such a definitive look for that time. It looks good.
Mhm. Mhm. It's like, oh God, what a scumbag.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Because you opened your mouth. You want a piece of that action. Oh, he didn't call him Dick.
Richard. I love this line when he says, "We practically are the military." That's so telling.
Mm-hmm.
How much control they really do have.
Weird how we going back there.
Yeah, why there?
Maybe because maybe it would be the last place they would look for them. Because I think, oh yeah, because I think he told her to get stuff, or she went and got stuff. So I got plenty of guns. So you got two everything. Damn, this was so wild.
It really was
Oh,
unbelievable.
this
It
this
just
is up there with Vader taking his mask off.
absolutely. This looked so futuristic. I remember when I first saw this, my eyes popped out of my head. I couldn't believe how they were doing this. It still looks so incredibly real. Just remarkable.
This is a kick-ass makeup and special effects makeup job, because yes, that is a specialty.
God, it looks so real. It looks so real.
It does.
Freaking 40 freaking years later. God.
Look at this. Oh man. Look, where he got shot in the head,
Mhm.
patch that up. It's like his face is grafted on something else.
The body proportions are spectacular. The
Mhm.
everything about it looks so good.
John Moore Jr. says 1980s animatronics. Remember Terminator 1? Yeah, I do remember that. Another movie we got to watch. That's so sad. He's like, I can feel them, but I can't remember them.
He's like, "I can't even watch a damn program in the street anymore. God damn it."
Oh, okay. Commercial break. With NASCAR. So, folks, the scene that just ended is, of course, Robocop got away. Lewis brought him a repair and firearm resupply kit and
Mhm.
talks about how he knows that Murphy's talking about himself in the third person had a wife and kid, but he can I guess he feels that he should know them, but he doesn't know them. So he's like, kinda I kinda need a moment.
Yeah, it's gotta be devastating for him, and he is realizing a lot of what he's, lost, I think, by this point.
Yeah. So Brian McCann said the face is synthetic, but only his brain is flesh.
Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you, Brian. Did you
Yeah,
know that?
that is crazy. I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that either. Why didn't we know that?
And we're back. Not for nothing, but that looks like Chicago now.
Mhm. Now this is the car they were advertising, earlier in the film, the 6000 SUX. It's hilarious.
One of the cars that gets crappy gas mileage. Well, he didn't say crappy, but you get it.
That guy's laugh.
6,000 sucks.
There goes your 6000 SUX.
Mhm. John Ware Jr. said, "Why would you blow up the nude spot?"
Damn, he has more than one?
Gary 405 over there on Twitch says, "Hey there, all. Hello,
Hi.
nurse. Hello." Can't say that now.
No.
Kind of reminds me of Fortnite a little bit.
Yes. Very much like that.
Except I back into the gas station and blow it up. So 'cause I can't drive. Dairy 405 says, "Great flick." Yes. This is such a cool popcorn flick.
And seeing him walk doesn't get old. Like, you could watch him walk for hours and hours with that mechanical motion and hearing
Oh, yeah.
the mechanics move and the gears move. It's just wonderful.
I love it.
This looks so real. Well, it's a practical effect at this point anyway, but so it
Mhm,
is real, but this really does feel like a real robotic police officer. They really achieved something remarkable.
mhm. Even though it's science fiction, it's realistic in a way. It's like you can actually picture it.
He's aiming towards the baby food.
Yeah. Brian McCann says, "Reina, you need to do RoboCop 2, 3 TV series, miniseries, and then the 14 reboot." Oof, well, that'll go in the pipeline. Oh, yeah, you are off.
Those guns
Yeah.
are insane.
Are they sick? It's like, dang.
It's nuts. Like, what? I'd love to hear the discussion about, well, what guns we have to make custom guns because it's the future.
Mhm. A
Okay.
big ass gun.
You want them bigger? Okay. The prop
Like, how
department's
big
like,
can you make them? Hey, Pro says, "Are you ready for a raid?" Oh my gosh. Would absolutely love a raid. Thank
oh
you. You
wow,
better not
hi.
end this stream in the next 20 minutes. We'll still be here. We'll still be here talking. So good to see you, Pro. Thanks for
Mhm.
crashing my stream, folks. Make sure you subscribe to WDW Pro. Awesome channel for pop culture commentary and theme park. Looking for me?
Now I'm assuming those guns aren't real, but they feel real. They're shooting with them.
Mhm.
They look really heavy.
Yeah. Especially the way that they walk with them and
The barrels are insane in length.
mhm.
This is hard to watch.
I wonder if OCP put those together for them.
Mhm.
Well, like you say, we are the military.
And of course, the guy who runs into the nuclear waste, that's so comic booky.
Yes, it was gave me Toxic Avenger vibes.
Mhm.
Have fun with that. It was so gross.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Very mutant vibes. Brian McCantos, those rifles in real life are Barrett 50 caliber sniper rifles. Man,
Oh,
whew,
thank you.
that's a badass gun. I know that. Well, rifle, excuse me. I shouldn't say gun.
Mhm. I'm assuming it's operators who be using that sort of stuff.
Yeah. It's like, what the heck is this? Get away from me, dude. Oh.
Yeah, that car, that's disgusting, but it does look good.
The one time you don't have your Kevlar on, I hope she had something on. Oh, this ought to freak him out. CJ says boobs. Oh, was this the magnet? Funny the stuff you remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I knew I shouldn't laugh, but dang. If you're a villain, you never celebrate. The music time to this, though.
It's wonderful. And you do feel this rod, it drives into you like it.
How you like that? Yeah, you gonna bleed out. Yeah, yeah, me too. Just like they did me. Yeah, they can fix everything. Really? That car is jacked up. Really? Dang! Woo! So much gunplay in this. I freaking love it. He just
Mhm.
happened to have one. Like, yeah, I'm taking this with me. Really? I don't think so, bruh. Darkwing Duck says I would actually pay for a movie like this today. And hello, Irene Jobson says I was
Hey,
born in
Irene.
1987.
Hi, Irene.
Really? Well, so glad to see you here.
This is one of the most satisfying parts of the film is when he rolls
Oh.
in again,
Mm-hmm.
destroys that whatever that thing is. The tank on 2 feet.
Old man says, how can I help you, officer?
I love it.
I'm gonna play it for you. Freaking love this scene.
It's so good.
Whew.
And we know in corporate America, one day you could be CEO and the next day you could be not the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Not.
was very true.
Yes. Mm. Well, mm-hmm.
So perfect. What a perfect
He's
ending.
smiling as he's getting shot.
What a perfect ending.
And dude's like, yeah. Hated that guy.
And then the music and everything, like it just that older CEO just, he just picks up from where he left off. He's like, "All right, let's get back to work, everybody." Like he didn't miss a beat. It's kind of like, you know, it may be the end of the day for RoboCop, but he's like, "We're still have work to do here, everybody. So get back to your offices."
Absolutely. And I love how, the old man talks to him like, "What's your name, son?"
And that was an era where people worked, like, they worked 12 hours a day, 16
Mhm.
hours a day. They were workaholics. Those guys went into work at 8, and they didn't come home till, like, 8 o'clock at night, so they were working long hours. Um, they're having an extra long meeting today, Lorena, to talk about what happened at, OCP and how they're
Mhm.
going to go forward after all of this. Um, because they got to keep that contract, Um, yeah, it is really just such a fantastic film. Um, it flows so well, and it feels very natural. It feels real. It feels like that RoboCop. He's real. He's real, and he's on the force, protecting Detroit right now.
Mhm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love how they set it up, because you've got the cops who just want to do their job, even though the city makes it so hard for them to do their job. And then of course you've got OCP, and they're on their payroll, and just kind of just like the despair, but the people, the ones that sell out, and the ones are just like, no, we're not going on strike because we're cops. And you get this cop, or he shows up, and on his first day gets murked in possibly, not possibly, but one of the most violent deaths on film, just with how long it took. I mean, the tension when they set up what happened, how long it took for them to actually, kill him. And it was just torture. But you had to see that in order to see RoboCop, be born and everything. And this movie, it's just such good 80's action, science fiction fun. It does not take itself super seriously,
No.
at all. And I think that's another reason why this movie is so popular, and it's so much fun, to watch. It's got real villains, real unapologetic villains. Ed 209, spare parts for 25 years. Who cares if it works? Dang.
Mhm. Yep. And also, they never destroy the illusion of RoboCop. He's still on the force. He's still serving. That character hasn't gone anywhere. He is still current. As soon as he straightens everything out at that corporation, OCP, he goes
Mhm.
back, to his desk or addressing a crime that he has to address. That scene where he gets stabbed with that rod by the bad guy is kind of painful to watch too. But then he
Oh,
comes back with the
yes.
hand, jab, and it really does feel really good. But yeah, they did such a great job with so much of the effects on here. And the look, it feels very real. It feels like this happened in 1987. It doesn't feel like this was a project that didn't happen. And yeah, he was a great prototype, still on the streets protecting Detroit as we speak. Thank you, RoboCop.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, well, thank you, Ivory Jake Jobson. Says Lorraine, I love your eye makeup. Well, thank you. Thank you, my dear. Appreciate that. Your brother-in-law was a cop in Titusville and at UCF. Well, God bless
Ah,
him.
mhm.
I mean, one of the things that I really do love about the comic is more graphic. I believe it.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
I do believe it. I haven't read it, but just considering what you see in this film, I'm not surprised. The fact that, this guy basically gets taken out, falls on, the new Detroit model and it's all covered in blood. I mean, how more poetic, or not poetic, I'll say foreshadowing, can you get with having that happen.
Absolutely.
Wow. That was so freaking cool.
Hmm.
That was so cool. I know it was really freaking gross, but it was good. It was cool too at the same time.
Yeah, he got shot up pretty badly. I mean, this was like it was a bloody massacre. That's the only way to describe that. But yeah, I guess that one, the bad guy, that character really just was out of control. Um,
Yeah, he was nuts. And I keep saying this, but I'm still cracking up about the fact that that's the dad from that '70s show.
yeah, yeah.
Just trying to murk RoboCop.
Hmm. He does give him a challenge. You know, RoboCop doesn't have it easy. It's not, he doesn't
Mhm.
kind of like walk away unscathed. So that was something else that's very important in this story. Um, and also having a partner who recognizes him also adds to the story building and the character building in it.
Absolutely. That's kind of like what really gets you. Wow, there's a lot of pictures, but I love it. I probably have to go back to the other one.
Yeah, they are
Y-
wonderful.
it's so cool when you see him like walking out and she's just like,
He
Murphy,
looks so
you
good.
know, because
Oh,
she
he looks,
knows, she's like, I know that move with the gun. And she's just like,
yeah.
Murphy. And he obviously recognizes, something.
Yeah, and he looks real now in 2023. That looks like a real robotic cop. The design on this was just so good. Peter Weller's face, even the expression on his face, I don't even know what that is, but it's remarkable. I mean, it's so compelling. Uh, he just really deserves so much credit for pulling this whole thing off with, that must have been tough wearing all that stuff.
Oh
Um,
God, yeah. I think I read somewhere where they were talking about just how heavy that that whole costume was and how they had to kind of get him into it. And then you have the special effects, makeup and everything that goes along with it, you know.
yeah.
That it was a crazy challenge, but I mean, visually, it pays off, and that's why, we love it so much. It's done so well. Peter Weller acts through the mask, the
Yes.
helmet. Eventually, it comes off, and it's like a bonus, but we already get an idea of who the character is, you know, behind all of the RoboCop, we'll say the persona behind the cyborg that we see. And
Yeah,
yep,
and
that's it is. I'm sorry, go ahead, my dear.
what's interesting is as the let's say the series, the IP goes on, we realize that it does matter who you choose, or what you're working from in regards to creating the RoboCop. Since it's a cyborg, it's supposed to be part organic and part robotic. So um you know I think that is very interesting. Choosing an officer who does have integrity does make a big difference in
Mhm.
the overall outcome of how RoboCop turns out to be as the series progresses. um
Absolutely. I'm kinda laughing because when you see RoboCop 2, you will find out exactly why things worked with Murphy, because he was the type of person that he was. So thank you for bringing that up, because I've been thinking about that through the whole movie. I'm like, wait a minute, no, that's in the second
it
one.
is in the second one, yes. And it is pretty remarkable, this whole project of taking him and doing this. And of course, it's all without his consent, right? None of this is with his consent or anyone's consent, really. This is just on a they winged it and they got lucky. But I think it's remarkable that his partner recognized him. um there had to be some element of Murphy that was recognizable, and she just was like, this has got to be my partner. But I think even the idea that a person could say, um, I wonder if that could be my partner. The reality of it,
Mhm.
saying that my partner could still be alive in this cyborg, it's remarkable to say that that could be, a truth or something that was possible at that time. So, yeah, it's just amazing. It's amazing how great this came out.
Oh god, I love this. And yes, Brian McCann, he signed a waiver of consent joining the police force. That's why I'm forgetting what the other dude said. He said, "Yeah, he's legally dead. We can pretty
Right,
much do what we want." I was
right.
like, "Okay. Lose the arm."
Oh, God. I just can imagine what he was thinking. Of course, we don't know what RoboCop was thinking. All we saw was the point of view as he was looking at, let's say, people in the lab. Can you imagine what must have been going through his mind? Not my arm, not realizing he didn't have any body parts,
Mhm.
probably except the brain, as someone has pointed out.
I think they said, yeah, if it was it 2 or was it I think it's in 2, where it basically says, "You think you're human, you're not. You're just basically when it boils down to it, you're just basically a couple of pieces on a coroner's table." I'm like, "Dang."
Mhm.
But that's the reality, and that's kind of like what a cyborg is. Part of it's organic, the rest is, mechanical. But I was like, "Man, really? That's all he is?"
Yeah.
Yeah, folks, look at this right here. This is what happens with I want to call it government and private enterprise in bed together. You get Ed 209.
Yes, and it was just like literally a walking tank. Um, and that's pretty much all it was. And that scene where he tries to walk down the stairs is so satisfying because you know it was going to happen. You
Mhm.
knew it wasn't going to make it down the stairs.
Nope.
It was so good to see him kind of falter, and it just really was great. And as I said, that wouldn't happen now because they'd be like, we can't get it to move. It's like, oh, because its systems would say it's not safe or something.
Mhm.
Um, but that type of robot that we saw there, it probably had no safeties. It's probably like Megan was, right? Where she didn't have any
Mhm.
safeties in place. It's like, "Oh, there's no safeties?" No, there's no safeties in this thing at all.
Nah, I can shoot what I want, jump down the stairs if I want, or whatever. It was just so clunky and just ridiculous. But yeah, I love this film. It is just so much fun to watch. Definitely something that they really wouldn't redo um, now, but I won't say they really would. They could do it. I haven't seen the 2014 version because I was just like, look, the only RoboCop for me is the Paul Verhoeven version
Yeah.
of RoboCop. But watching these movies, it just reminds me of when movies used to be fun.
Yes.
And your heroes are not perfect. They go through a journey, like you were saying, like you saw when RoboCop gets stabbed through the breastplate. You can
Ah,
actually you see that, like,
yeah.
okay,
That looked painful.
that is freaking painful, and of course very gratifying when, he pulls a spike out and, stabs dude in the jugular. And it's
And
that thing that I'm sorry, my dear.
yeah.
It's that thing of like the villain seems practically invincible, you know.
Yeah. And we do hear the word cocksucker a few times. We get to see some bare asses of some of the cops. Um, and I'm sure at the time, like, when this film was like, oh, it's a locker room shot. Nobody cares. You see naked people in locker rooms. This isn't something that's so unheard of. But they decided to keep that level of realism in it, and they didn't have to. But they're like, yeah, let's go ahead and show. There's going to be a bunch of guys getting dressed. They either be in a towel or not in a towel. They felt that it was they had to just show the natural reality of how things looked at the precinct. But it is interesting how the cops do feel quite superseded in this story.
Mhm.
in a number of ways, that they're being manipulated and they're going to go on strike, and all of these problems that I guess, happen in modern times, although thank God we don't really have a strike right now, but
Mhm.
questioning of, the value of the police force, in the 80s. So it's not a new thing to even question that. But of course, RoboCop is an effective police officer, but you still do need the rest of the force. So,
Yes.
so that there is that. But yeah, it just really was so much fun to watch this film.
Heck yeah, it was fun. And CJ says, I've heard her say sucker twice tonight.
Yes, it's great. See, cocksucker is not an insult for a woman. It's only an insult for a man. So, it's like I always laugh and I'm like, oh, this guy called this person cocksucker. And I'm like, but you never hear a woman getting called that because, well, it's for obvious reasons. But
Yeah, they don't really do that, but I love how unapologetic the language is, even a line that could be considered homophobic, but he just let it fly anyway.
Mhm. Yeah.
Apparently, you're goaded for that.
Thank you.
It's just I love this version. I mean, it's unapologetically raw,
Mhm.
raunchy, dirty, lots of explosions, lots of blood, lots of guns. Um Good old fashioned cops and robbers types of thing. It's going down in this. I love it. Brian McCann says 1987 Robocop is my favorite film, and I
Wow.
enjoyed the 2014 Robocop too. Well,
Wow.
that's good to hear. That's one I'll have to watch. I kind of give that one the treatment like I gave the Denis Villeneuve version of Blade Runner. I didn't
Yes.
watch that for quite a while because for me, I'm a Ridley Scott purist. And when I finally saw it, it was like, it was all right. It was all right. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it was, it was all right. And Darkwing Duck says it showed good cops and bad cops. OCP had the bad and the good ones were there to serve and protect.
Yes.
Absolutely. Even when it came down to Robocop, some of them were just like, he's a cop. Why are you going to, you know, kill him? I mean, at first
You
they
can't
seemed
do that to
threatened by
somebody
him.
on the force. You can't do that to
No,
one of our brothers.
can't do that. And I love that that dichotomy between, and I don't want to say dichotomy, but it's a common trope in these law enforcement films. You have the filthy cops, and then you have the ones who are just trying to serve and protect,
Yes.
the public, and they have to deal with these dirty cops giving them a bad name. Noah Peccolo, hello. I hope I said your last name right. So
Hi.
thank you for being here. Says 87 Robocop is fast becoming the reality around us. And you're not off with that. This is kind of like what I think, especially going back and watching it and then looking at even some of the events that have happened in the past 5 years. It's kind of just, well, we'll say Chicago. We'll say Chicago, but a lot of urban centers, it's just like, is it going to be a point where you've got, private company running the police force?
Yeah,
Interesting question.
it's a scary thought. It's a scary thought. I don't know. It's scary to think about that because we don't know anything differently
Hmm.
than, let's say a city run police force. But yeah, it is something to think about. Um, yeah.
Yeah, it most definitely is. Most definitely is. But I love how in the end Robocop prevails, and I love the line where he says they'll fix you. They
Yes.
fix everything.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I did like that too because she was like, I'm messed up. I'm in bad shape.
Hmm.
So I guess she's not going out on disability. Not yet.
No.
She's gonna make it to retirement age, especially if he is by her side.
Exactly, because she's got stuff to do, and he's got to be around to do that. And again, other thing to point out: strong female character
Yes.
who isn't, trashing Med. Murphy is her partner,
Yes.
and
And
oh, sorry, go ahead, right here.
you're right. Murphy is her partner, and she's wonderful. We saw a lot of female cops in this. As we were saying, by this time, the force had female cops, so it wasn't anything that we weren't accustomed to seeing in the force. Certainly, when we were growing up, there were female cops, so it wasn't anything new or something we weren't accustomed to seeing. Another thing that they did in this film was that when when RoboCop first comes into the precinct, even the police officers are stunned by what they're seeing, and we get to see their excitement. They're running through the precinct like, "What is this? What what is that?" And they themselves are so amazed by what they're seeing. I thought that was kind of fun to see. They were amazed as well. It was interesting.
Oh yeah, especially that part at the firing range. I love that when they're like, "What kind of gun is that? And how come we don't have one
Yeah.
of those?" They're just like, "What the heck is that?" You see RoboCop
Mhm.
down there, he's shooting that. Love that. And John Moore Jr. says Lewis is still nurturing in her part of the story. Yes,
Mhm. Yeah, she
that's a
really is.
that's a female trait, and I love that she is that way. Even, hey, I got the stuff you wanted. I don't know what gun you wanted, so just brought everything.
Yeah. Yep. Wise decision, right?
Very wise
Yeah.
decision. And Brian McCann says if you can find the RoboCop novelization book, wow, I
Oh.
would love to have that.
Mhm.
This is definitely one of those films where it would be very cool to read the book instead. It's kind of not instead, but after you see the film, because I know that was what it was like for me with Alien. I was quote unquote too young to see the movie, but apparently not too young to check the book out of the neighborhood library. So that's what I did and read it, and probably got scared even more reading the actual reading the actual novel. But yeah, definitely if you can do that, definitely pick
Mhm.
that out. Behemoth
Oh.
666 says
Hey.
Beretta 93R, 3 round burst Beretta 92 or
Thank you,
M9.
BMS
Yes.
666.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
I'm
We
guessing
like
that's
to
his
know the
his
firearms.
rig, in the, there.
Yeah, we love to know what firearms are being used. We need to
Absolutely.
know. We'd like to know that.
Yeah,
We'd
and
like to
thank you
know
for
that.
telling me that it was a full automatic, um, and versus semi. That is also really good to know.
Mhm. Oh, you watch Alien every year as a family?
That
That's
sounds so fun.
exciting.
That sounds so funny and yet so cool at the same time. It's like, we always come together for Alien every year.
Freaking love it. Love
Yeah,
it.
it
Love
was
it. Oh
awesome,
my gosh,
Charlene.
love that. Oh, well, my dear, any last thoughts about RoboCop 1987?
It still feels like they could make him. I don't know whether I feel like they could make the RoboCop now, but when I saw that film at the time, it felt like they could really make him. And I I had to wonder about that a little bit because I wonder why I don't necessarily have that feeling today. Even though I know that, like robotics has grown leaps and bounds since then.
Mhm.
At that time, it felt like it was something they could do. And I'm wondering why I feel like now where I'm like, well, I don't know whether they could do that. Maybe it's just because I'm older and have grown up and don't have that level of mysticism and fantasy about something like that. But he feels real. He looks very real today. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him walking around, um, you know, stopping crime. The design still looks great. I
Mhm.
think if a design is done well, it will look very good. even so many years later. Just really a triumph for Paul Verhoeven, Peter Weller, and the whole team. Um, and yeah, and I do love other elements of the rawness of it too. So that's my last thoughts on RoboCop.
Yeah, guns, guns, guns. Like
Hmm.
in the movie.
Hmm. Yeah,
I love it. I love the realism of RoboCop. What what he what he looks like, what his skeleton looks like, how he moves. He's not running down the street like a transformer. His movements are realistic. Even just like the intersection of like organic and you know programming, just very realistic how he analyzes things,
yeah,
which directive it is. He goes down the list of directives, and just great storytelling throughout this, how they do foreshadowing, how they set things up throughout throughout the story. So it's full of action, so much fun to watch. Again, back when movies were freaking fun.
yeah.
It was about have a good time, spend your money. You're gonna have 2 hours and nothing but straight up fun. So hopefully Hollywood will get the idea and do that. It seems Hollywood was more productive when people were snorting cocaine. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying.
And also, it was not as oversaturated as it is now. Um, that is true. Hey, Tom.
Time.
How are you, Tom Jr. Jackson? We were all good people, Tom.
Yes, lots of great old school practical effects.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it was great. It was so great. Yes, movies were awesome. Awesome then. I think some movies that are coming out recently, I'd say within I guess the past year or so, some of the really good ones that are coming out are learning those lessons from the 80s. Like, remember when there were so many movies you wanted to see, but it's just like there's so many coming out. I don't know, which ones I want to see. So folks, need to get back to that. But in the meantime,
All you need is one good film like Super Mario Brothers or Maverick to make the money. You don't need 20
mhm,
or 30 films or 5 or 6 shows. You only need one.
one that people are going to keep talking about, and it's just like, oh God, I don't want to get FOMO. I need to go and I need to go watch the movie.
Mhm. Yeah,
So, folks, I think that is going to wrap it up for this watch party of RoboCop 1987, starring Peter Weller, Karen Allen, and Ronnie Cox as well, and the dad from that 70s show. Which is funny, I
absolutely.
can't remember his name, but yes, trust me, it's gonna be funny watching this movie and, like, that's the dad? Really? Oh, shoot, that's nuts.
Mm.
Well, where can people find you, my dear?
Well, guys, you can always find me on my YouTube channel, Positive Fandom, where I do all the parlay and the fandom on Sundays. I do my Sunday brunch show at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with Russ Whitfield. But you can also find me playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor on Positive Fandom every single day. I stream that game, just enjoying the game. And yeah, I am not the fastest gamer. I just have fun with it. Yeah, it's a
That's
lot of
alright.
there's a lot of like falling down cliffs and, plunging to death, but that's okay. It's just to have fun and to connect with the community. So you can check that out on my channel. But you can also find me on the Burr Network with Lorena on our show, Ladies of the PGS, on Monday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we do all the oh, thank you. Thanks so much. I was a little not feeling that well, but I feel better, guys. Thank you.
Oh,
um
good.
and also, you can find me doing other shows on the Burn Network as well, including Midnight Musings. Um, uh, Also, you can find me here on Lorena's channel And we also do our Toxic Male Appreciation Show on Thursdays on our Twitch channel, and then the rebroadcast, of course, on her YouTube channel on Sundays. And then finally, you can find me on the 1/6 Scale Man Network for Uncivilized Scoundrels and sometimes Say What as well. So you can find me on all of those things and more. And Lorena, thank you so much for having me here tonight to watch Robocop. It was so much fun to do this tonight.
Oh, well, thank you, my dear. I love watching these movies with you. I love the commentary and the banter that we have going on
Mhm.
watching these films. It is just too much fun, too
It
much fun.
is.
And as always, look forward to more and more watch parties with you,
Yes.
my dear.
Yes.
Pro says raid incoming. Oh man, we're literally about to wrap up. I'm
We
so
are, but
sorry.
thank you, everybody.
Oh, I so do appreciate it. If you're just coming in, you can watch the replay, queue up your copy of Robocop 1987. You can watch it on Pluto TV. You can watch it on Tubi TV. Or if you've got it already on digital download or physical media, you can watch it along with us. We got this little timer up here. Let's see. As for your girl, of course, Herm has said a lot of stuff that we do together. Ladies of the PGS over on the Network. Toxic Male Appreciation, which we do on Thursdays, and then the replay is on Sundays. Of course, tomorrow at 1 p.m. We're going to be talking Tom Cruise. Is he the last movie star? So we
Mhm.
had a great discussion. Had some great stuff to add.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Of course. Talking about, is Tom Cruise the last true movie star? So you'll have to check that out. And this Thursday on Toxic Male Appreciation, we're going to be talking about Australian actor. I think he's Australian, Jason Statham, who will
Mm.
be in the Fast and the Furious 10. So we have
Mhm.
that going on. Let's see. Oh gosh, tomorrow is going to be crazy for me. I'm supposed to be on Valiant Renegade show
Wow.
on Sunday. And then I'm supposed to be what am I supposed to be on? Yeah, my own show, Welcome Florida. So you can watch the schedule. I have so much going on. Thank
Mhm.
you guys so much for being here. Please do subscribe to Hurtum of Positive Fandom. Please
Yes.
do subscribe to myself. And folks, we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.